Thank you for joining my session. I'm a registered psychotherapist practicing in Ontario, and we are continuing to discuss about different topics according to the questions that you're asking me. Today we are going to talk about something almost everyone struggles with at a certain point in their lives. It's procrastination. And we are going to learn why the brain avoids action and what we can do in order to convince it. Procrastination is not laziness, it's emotional regulation. And most people think procrastination means I don't feel like doing it or I'm not disciplined, I have no willpower. But psychologically, procrastination is rarely about time management, it's more about discomfort management. Your brain is not asking, is this important? Your brain is asking, does this feel safe? And when a task triggers anxiety, fear of failure, or fear of judgment, perfectionism, or overwhelm, your nervous system automatically reacts, and avoidance becomes a kind of protective factor to avoid anxiety and uncomfortable feelings. And procrastination is your brain trying to reduce short term discomfort, even if it creates long term stress. So, if listening to me was helpful for you, what change you would like to see in yourself, what you would like to achieve, and if our work together was useful, what would be different in your daily life regarding procrastination? If procrastination had less control over you, what would they say about the version of you who you are becoming? Let's understand what's happening in your brain neurologically. The prefrontal cortex is responsible for planning, decision making, and long term thinking. And it says, this matters, let's do it. So when you start to do the task, the limbic system, especially amygdala, scans for any possible threats. And if a task feels overwhelming or connected to possible failure, amygdala activates. And when emotional discomfort rises, your brain seeks for immediate relief. And relief can be different for different people. For some, it can be scrolling, cleaning, snacking, watching something, or anything that reduces tension quickly. And it's not a weakness, it's our biology and it's how our brain works. And here is the paradox. The more we avoid, the more anxiety grows. And the more anxiety grows, the harder it becomes to start. And then the inner critic joins the cycle, and you start to hear some thoughts such as, you are so lazy, why you can't just do it, you'll never change. And as a result, shame increases, and stress leads to avoidance. Avoidance leads to more anxiety, more avoidance. And that's how everything develops. Procrastination thrives. So, how do we break this loop and cycle? First of all, we can stop blaming and attacking ourselves. Self criticism doesn't create motivation, it creates paralysis. You might feel numb, ashamed, and criticizing yourself is not being useful in any manner. So, reminding yourself whenever you notice that you are having self critical thoughts, reminding yourself about past cases of success, history of success in the past when you were procrastinating less or you were succeeding more, and asking yourself what has helped you in the past can remind of you that you are not the person who is just procrastinating, and there are different versions of you that you had in the past, and you have capability, resources, and skills to invite this old successful version of you again. For instance, you can ask yourself questions such as, when in the past have you already taken action on something you were tempted to avoid, and what was different about you then? What helped you to take steps? What does remembering that time tell you about what's possible for you now? And where did you learn the ability to push through discomfort when something mattered to you? Who influenced you? What was there about you that helped to perceive this knowledge and wisdom from that person, and what strengths do you already have that could help you to support you in starting tasks sooner. And when you have overcome resistance before, what helped you to keep going instead of stopping? And secondly, we identify the real emotion under procrastination. Try to remember which feelings you have whenever you are just about to start studying or doing certain task, and try to name the feeling that you have at that point and ask yourself how you would like to feel instead, or how you would feel once you have started this task, or if you were able to continue it for 5, 10 minutes, or 1 hour. And you might be experiencing some fear of not being good enough, or fear of being evaluated, criticized, or fear of discovering that you won't succeed, or simply you might feel overwhelmed. And all of these emotions are normal, and anyone can feel these feelings at certain points in their life. So understanding which emotion, which feeling you have at that point can help to reduce its intensity and its hold over you, and your brain would start to calm down when experience becomes and turns into language. So thirdly, what you can do to help yourself is to break your tasks into smaller parts. For instance, if you have a goal of finishing the project, set a goal of studying for 30 minutes every day. And not just opening the document, read one page, work for 5 minutes. And if you can manage doing starting task and doing it for 5, 10 minutes, you would notice that anxiety and discomfort is slowly decreasing, and it will be easier for you to continue with the task. Also, determining where you are going to start the task, when exactly, and arranging your environment and decreasing any possible distractions can help you to focus on your goal and to decrease mental overload and anxiety whenever you are trying to start the task. So, whenever you have these uncomfortable feelings, trying to shift into behavior and starting generally helps to considerably decrease anxiety than just sitting and thinking about the action, because thinking creates more anxiety. When you think about a time before procrastination felt this strong, what was different about how you approached the tasks? If things improve even a little over the next week, what will be the first small sign that tells you you are handling things differently? On days when procrastination feels slightly weaker, what do you do differently compared to other days? So, noticing these differences that helped you in the past to overcome anxiety and to start might help you to find new insights about which strategies and skills you can use in order to help yourself to cope with anxiety and procrastination this time. And oftentimes, as we have already discussed, we are linking procrastination or avoidance to an identity, and not even being aware of it, we start to label ourselves as lazy, as a failure, or we might have other self-critical thoughts about our identity. And when we do not notice that these are just thoughts, it can impact your mood and your ability to start doing things, and thinking about times when you succeeded, and considering your history of success and your identities you had in the past can help to inspire and motivate you for action, and remind you that you are not your thoughts, you are not your feelings, and you are not critics that your mind is telling you about you. If you fail, it means something didn't work, not that you are fundamentally flawed. Perfectionism fuels procrastination because if it cannot be perfect, the brain chooses not to start. So, noticing which thoughts you have at the times when it's difficult for you to start, whether it's related with perfectionism, or whether it's related with your identity or any other things that your mind is telling you, can help to notice that these are just thoughts and they don't have to dictate your behavior or influence your future, and to create distance between your thoughts and feelings and yourself. So, another strategy that might help you is, instead of waiting for motivation or inspiration to come, following your plan and structured rhythm can help you to succeed. For instance, setting a fixed time, small duration of it, and consistent repetition might help to develop habits, and by time it will be easier for you to take action, even if you feel anxious. We don't wait to feel ready, we build readiness through repetition. And each time when you take action despite anxiety or uncomfortable feelings, you are slowly teaching your brain that this action is not dangerous, there is no threat, and it starts to generate new neurons that would help you to develop that habit, and each time it will get easier to start. After starting, most people experience relief within 5 and 10 minutes, and anticipation of the task is often more painful than the task itself. So instead of asking, how do I feel about doing this, ask, what's the smallest possible step I can take right now? And procrastination is not a personality trait, it's a protective pattern. So if we can understand this, that anxiety is not something dangerous, it's just how our brain works, and it just tries to protect us, we might develop a new relationship with anxiety, and instead of being scared of anxiety, being scared of fears, we can see just some mechanism that tries to help us to grow, to develop, and to feel safe. And these protective patterns can be updated. You can teach your brain new information. When you act despite discomfort, what does that say about the kind of person who you are becoming? And how does it feel different to see yourself as someone who begins, who succeeds, rather than someone who avoids? If procrastination has loosened its grip or influence over you, what's the very first small thing you do differently? And if I followed you around on a day when you are living as someone who takes action consistently, what would I notice about how you move through your tasks? If you notice that procrastination is deeply tied to anxiety, perfectionism, or self-worth, working through it with a professional support can make the process much easier. Therefore, you don't have to untangle these loops alone. If this video helped you to see procrastination differently, subscribe to my channel. Don't forget to like my videos and share it in the comments. What do you procrastinate on the most, and what emotion might be underneath it? In the next video, we will continue to discuss other topics. You can leave your questions in the comments, and in the next video, we will be discussing about fear of failure and why success sometimes feels safer than triumph. Thank you for your time. I hope this time was useful for you, and see you in the next videos.